Imagine this for a moment. Right now, in the very grocery store you visit every week, sitting quietly in the produce aisle you probably pass without a second thought, are vegetables so powerful, so deeply backed by science that they can actively influence how your body defends itself at the cellular level. And we're not talking about minor benefits. We're talking about protection against the biggest threats to human health: cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and chronic inflammation. The same conditions responsible for millions of deaths each year. I'm Dear Catherine, and after more than 20 years in clinical practice, I've watched countless patients spend thousands on supplements, treatments, and medications, often overlooking some of the most effective healing tools available. Foods that cost less than $2 a pound. Today, I'm going to reveal 4 vegetables that are not just popular opinions or passing trends, but are supported by rigorous peer-reviewed scientific research as some of the most powerful natural defenses your body has against disease. And I assure you, by the time we reach number 1, you'll be genuinely surprised. So stay with me because what you're about to learn has the potential to truly transform your health. First, we need to understand a critical truth. Cancer and most chronic illnesses don't appear suddenly. They build silently over time through a process driven by oxidative stress and persistent inflammation. Think of oxidative stress as internal corrosion, like rust slowly forming within your body. Every single day, your cells are attacked by free radicals, unstable molecules generated by processed foods, environmental toxins, stress, and even normal bodily functions. When these free radicals overwhelm your natural defenses, they begin to damage your DNA, interfere with essential cellular communication, and over time, that damage can trigger the development of cancer. So the real question becomes, what can stop this chain reaction? What strengthens your body's ability to defend and repair itself? The answer consistently comes back to one powerful factor: your diet. And these 4 vegetables stand at the very top of that defense system. Let's begin with number 4. And this one is going to surprise a lot of you. It's broccoli. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, yes, I know broccoli is healthy, I want you to hear me out because what most people don't know is why broccoli is almost frighteningly powerful. Broccoli belongs to a family of plants called cruciferous vegetables. And inside broccoli, there is a compound called sulforaphane. When you chew raw broccoli or lightly steam it, an enzyme called myrosinase converts a precursor compound into sulforaphane. And that is where the real magic happens. A landmark study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that sulforaphane can actually target and destroy cancer stem cells. These are the particularly dangerous cells that are resistant to conventional chemotherapy and are responsible for cancer coming back after treatment. The study showed that sulforaphane reduced the number of breast cancer stem cells by up to 65%. Let me say that again. Up to 65%. And this wasn't just one study. Research from Johns Hopkins University, where sulforaphane was first discovered, has consistently shown that this compound activates what are called phase 2 detoxification enzymes in the liver. Enzymes that essentially help your body neutralize carcinogens and flush them out before they can damage your DNA. One practical tip I give all my patients: lightly steam your broccoli. Don't boil it to mush because high heat destroys myrosinase. Or better yet, eat some of it raw. And here's a pro tip most people don't know. Sprinkle a tiny bit of mustard seed powder on steamed broccoli. Mustard seed contains its own myrosinase, which dramatically increases sulforaphane absorption. Small changes, enormous impact. Now let's move to number 3. And this is where I want you to lean in because this vegetable has one of the most compelling cancer-fighting stories in all of nutritional science. I'm talking about garlic. And I know what some of you are thinking. Garlic isn't really a vegetable. But botanically and nutritionally, it absolutely is. And it deserves its place on this list more than almost anything else. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which is released when you crush or chop a raw garlic clove and allow it to sit for about 10 minutes before cooking. That 10-minute waiting period is critically important, and I'll explain why in just a moment. The World Health Organization's dietary guidelines for promoting health actually recommend a daily intake of 2 to 5 grams of fresh garlic. That's roughly 1 clove, specifically for its protective effects against disease. A major analysis published in the journal Cancer Prevention Research looked at over 27 independent studies and found that people with the highest garlic consumption had a significantly reduced risk of colorectal cancer compared to those with the lowest consumption. Another study from the National Cancer Institute found associations between garlic consumption and reduced risk of stomach, esophageal, pancreatic, and breast cancers. Now here's the science behind it. Allicin and its derivative compounds, including agene and diallyl sulfide, have been shown to induce something called apoptosis in cancer cells. Apoptosis is essentially programmed cell death. It's how your body naturally eliminates damaged or abnormal cells. Cancer cells, by their very nature, have found ways to bypass apoptosis. They refuse to die. Compounds in garlic essentially override that bypass and force those cancer cells back into a self-destruction sequence. Now about that 10-minute rule. When you crush garlic and expose it to air, the enzyme alliinase converts alliin into allicin. But if you throw garlic straight into a hot pan without letting it rest, heat destroys that enzyme before it can complete the conversion, and you lose a significant amount of the beneficial compounds. 10 minutes at room temperature before cooking. That one habit could make an enormous difference in the nutritional value you're actually getting from your garlic. And garlic doesn't stop at cancer prevention. Studies have also shown that it reduces LDL cholesterol, lowers blood pressure, and has powerful antimicrobial properties. This is truly one of nature's most versatile medicines. We're at number 2 now. And this vegetable is one that I call the silent protector because it works quietly deep inside your cells in ways that most people never think about. It's spinach. Now, spinach is rich in so many nutrients that it's almost difficult to know where to start. It contains folate, which is essential for DNA synthesis and repair. It's loaded with carotenoids, particularly lutein, zeaxanthin, and beta-carotene, which are powerful antioxidants that mop up those free radicals we talked about earlier. But what really sets spinach apart in the conversation about cancer and disease is its exceptionally high concentration of something called mGDG and SQDG. Those are long scientific names. But what you need to know is that researchers at Osaka Prefecture University in Japan found that these compounds inhibit an enzyme called DNA polymerase alpha, which is the same enzyme that cancer cells rely on to replicate their DNA and divide. In other words, these compounds in spinach literally interrupt the cancer cell's ability to copy itself and multiply. Beyond cancer, spinach is remarkably protective against cardiovascular disease. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that people who ate spinach and other leafy greens daily had a significantly lower risk of heart disease, largely because of the high nitrate content in spinach, which improves blood vessel flexibility and lowers blood pressure. Spinach also contains a compound called camphorol, a flavonoid that a large study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found to be associated with a 40% reduction in the risk of ovarian cancer among women who consumed it regularly. 40% from a leafy green that costs almost nothing. And here's something most people don't know. Cooking spinach actually increases the bioavailability of certain nutrients like beta-carotene and iron, while eating it raw maximizes folate. So ideally you want to eat spinach in both forms regularly. Mix it into smoothies. Sauté it lightly in olive oil. Add it to soups, eggs, pasta. The options are endless. And now we've arrived at number 1. The vegetable that, in my professional opinion, backed by a growing and extraordinary body of scientific evidence, is the single most powerful cancer-fighting, disease-healing vegetable you can eat. And that vegetable is beets. I can see some of you weren't expecting that. Beets. Those deep, dark red root vegetables that most people either love or avoid. And I completely understand if beets haven't been a big part of your diet. But after you hear what I'm about to tell you, I think that's going to change. Beets get their extraordinary dark red color from a class of pigments called betalains, specifically betacyanins and betaxanthins. These are not just beautiful pigments. They are among the most powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds found anywhere in the plant kingdom. A study published in the journal Molecules found that betaine, the primary pigment in red beets, inhibits tumor cell growth in human colon, stomach, lung, and breast cancer cell lines. Another study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that beet juice extracts suppress the growth of prostate and breast cancer cells by over 50% in laboratory conditions. Now, laboratory conditions are different from a living human body, and I always want to be transparent about that distinction. But combined with population studies and the extraordinary mechanistic evidence we have, the picture is very compelling. Here's what else beets do that most people are completely unaware of. Beets are exceptionally high in nitrates, natural nitrates, not the synthetic kind found in processed meats. In your body, those natural nitrates are converted to nitric oxide, which is a molecule that does something remarkable. It relaxes and dilates your blood vessels, dramatically improving circulation and reducing blood pressure. A landmark study from Queen Mary University of London found that drinking just 1 cup of beet juice per day lowered blood pressure in hypertensive patients by an average of 8 points systolic. A reduction that's comparable to some blood pressure medications. This improved circulation also means more oxygen and more immune cells being delivered to every tissue in your body, including tissues that need to fight off abnormal cell growth. Beets are also one of the richest dietary sources of betaine, a compound that helps protect your cells from environmental stress and plays a critical role in a process called methylation, which is essentially how your body turns genes on and off. Proper methylation is profoundly important in cancer prevention because one of the hallmarks of cancer development is abnormal methylation patterns that silence tumor suppressor genes. Betaine from beets helps support healthy methylation and keep those protective genes active. And beyond all of that, beets are high in fiber, folate, manganese, and vitamin C, nutrients that collectively support your immune system, your digestive health, and your body's ability to detoxify. You can roast them, juice them, slice them raw into salads, or blend them into smoothies. If you've been avoiding beets because of their earthy taste, try roasting them with a little olive oil and sea salt. You'll be amazed at how sweet and delicious they become. So let's bring this all together because I want you to leave today with something actionable. Number 4, broccoli and its sulforaphane compounds that destroy cancer stem cells and activate your liver's detoxification enzymes. Eat it lightly steamed or raw and use that mustard powder trick to maximize absorption. Number 3, garlic with its allicin and sulfur compounds that induce apoptosis in cancer cells, protect your heart, and fortify your immune system. Crush it, let it sit 10 minutes, then cook. Number 2, spinach. A nutritional powerhouse containing compounds that interrupt cancer cell replication, protect your cardiovascular system, and deliver a remarkable array of antioxidants and folate that your DNA literally needs to stay healthy. And number 1, beets with their extraordinary betalain pigments, their blood pressure lowering nitrates, and their betaine compounds that support the very genetic mechanisms your body uses to suppress cancer. Now here is my honest medical perspective on all of this. These vegetables are not a replacement for medical care. If you have been diagnosed with cancer or any serious disease, please work with your physician and your oncology team. What I am telling you is that the evidence is overwhelming. Your diet is one of the most powerful factors you can control when it comes to reducing your risk of cancer and chronic disease. According to the American Cancer Society, nearly 18% of cancers in the United States are directly linked to poor nutrition and lack of physical activity, meaning a significant portion is preventable. What you choose to eat each day is far from insignificant. It functions as medicine. It sends constant signals to your cells, your DNA, and your immune system. And the scientific evidence is clear. These 4 vegetables, broccoli, garlic, spinach, and beets, should be a regular and consistent part of your diet in meaningful amounts. I want you to take action starting this week. Not next month, not when life slows down, but right now. Begin by adding just one of these vegetables to your meals each day. Pay attention to how your body responds and build that habit over time. Your body is incredibly capable of healing and defending itself when you provide it with the right support. If this information made an impact on you, and I sincerely hope it did, go ahead and press the like button because it helps YouTube push this message to others who truly need it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do and turn on the bell notification so you never miss an update. Every week I share science-backed, doctor-informed insights designed to help you take real ownership of your health. I'm dear Catherine. Thank you for placing your trust in me. Stay curious, stay educated, and I'll see you in the next video.